All right. Welcome to my fifth podcast episode. Today, we're going to talk about knife logos, free will, and beards, primarily. I had a lot of requests to come back to free will, so that's why we're doing that. Um, First of all, I want to get like a maker's mark for my knife making, right? Because, first of all, I think that people like that. Second of all, then I can be identified. Third of all, it's cool. Fourth, fun. Fifth, it is a really easy way to make a knife just a little bit more interesting, more intricate. Um, but the issue is I don't have great ideas. Could just do my initials, but it's kind of basic. I don't know. I think I might put a Z for Zimet. Gotta uphold the family name. And then maybe like some animals around it or something. I'm working on a design with a snake with a Z, right? And then a snake on one side and a rabbit on the other side. The rabbit represents good, and the snake represents evil. And of course, the snake is going to win the fight, but the rabbit could win. And I mean, the snake doesn't have to represent evil, but it could just represent, the inevitability of death in the end. But anyway, and also the rabbit doesn't have to represent good. It can represent life and humanity or whatever you want to do. Funny for a rabbit to represent humanity, but nature, humanity, same thing, close enough. Um, as far as free will goes, I was just kind of writing about this because of my fucking class, but it was not any new thoughts from me, basically. But basically, you can approach free will from like starting at, the Big Bang or the beginning, whatever that is, going forward, or starting right now, kind of reverse engineering it, right? So you start at the Big Bang. When the explosion happened, every single particle was affected by that explosion in exactly the way that it was affected by it. And because the laws of nature are entirely consistent, each particle went and did exactly what it would do based on the explosion and collided with each other a way in a way that was entirely determined and predictable based on the laws of physics and the action that immediately preceded it. And that just kept on happening until shit happened, right? Till stuff started getting interesting, right? So as stuff got more complicated, it got more interesting, but it's still just the laws of physics and particles reacting based on other particles and the laws of physics, right? So you can't really get past that. And I was thinking something weird about that argument is that why do we have such complex systems and why has such crazy shit happened, right? Why do we propagate ourselves, like laws of physics, for example, right? But I realized an interesting argument for that would be that if there are certain actions that cause themselves to happen more often, then those are going to become the most common actions, right? So it took, obviously, who knows how many years, billions and billions of years or whatever, right? But once the anything capable of self-preservation started existing, of course, that's going to rapidly become within its means. It's going to rapidly become the most common shit ever, right? Because it's making itself exist more. So as it is through no free will colliding with itself, if it's colliding in a way that makes itself collide with itself again, I mean, it's not colliding. Might be a bad way of explaining it, but if these motions start to reproduce themselves, then they're just going to reproduce themselves, and it's going to grow exponentially into things that happen over and over again, are much more likely to happen than things that don't reproduce themselves, which can just stop happening. But anyway, the other way to look at it is from the immediate thinking, which I kind of like Sam Harris's. I like Sam Harris's view, which is, you know, you can think about what you want to do, but you can't decide what you want to think about. You can't just think about what you want to think about, right? So if you don't think to do something, you can't do it. It's just not going to happen, right? So you have to have that thought first, and you can't control what thoughts pop into your head. It's basically random. And even if you can kind of have some control, like, okay, what should I do next, right? But like, did you think to think, what should I do? You can just kind of take it back until it's just painfully obvious that you have no control over that shit. That's like the easiest way to describe it. It's not really the common stance, but I don't feel like describing the other way, even though it also is valid and works. Um, so yeah, that's free will. Beards. I think beards slap. It's kind of interesting because like when you don't have a beard, your face is showing more. It's kind of like more visceral almost. It's like being naked, right? Except the beard, the beard is part of yourself, and so it's not actually like being naked, but it's kind of like that. It's kind of interesting, but beards just look good, so it's worth it. And I think just like normal beards, like a normal whatever you call this, is like the best. But if you can grow a beard and you don't do whack shit, then like what are you doing? You're wasting your abilities, right? So soon I'm gonna cut this off and go mutton chops. Oh yeah. Yeah. Um Previously, I've tried cutting off these and stuff. Anyway, you just gotta, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Just have some fun. Um I think that basically covers it. Oh yeah, one last thing. I think I'm gonna start adding what I talk about in my video into the title of the video, into the title of the video, because nobody reads the descriptions, I don't think. And let's face facts, I wasn't really putting any info in them anyway. But so yeah, I'm gonna start doing that, and I might change my mind later, but we'll see. Thank you for watching. Come back, the motherfucker. All right. Good talk.